In the U.S., flooding has killed at least 25 people, including several children in eastern Kentucky. Officials fear the number of dead will only rise.
Still a lot of people out there, still a lot of people unaccounted for. We're going to do our best to find them all.
It's hard to put into words just the amount of devastation that we've seen.
Emergency crews have carried out hundreds of rescues by boat or by helicopter. President Joe Biden has declared a major disaster and is sending in federal aid. This is the worst flooding seen in years in the Appalachians and is another huge blow to Kentucky. It's still recovering from the deadliest tornadoes in its history. That was just in December. CNN's Mike Valerio is in the flood zone with the latest.
Well, I think that the scene around us embodies the catastrophe that is just spread across 13 counties. As we pull out here, you can see that this home actually traveled about 300 meters from its foundation all the way crashing into this bridge that we're standing on right here. It just shows you the power of the floodwaters. And if I was standing right here about midnight Wednesday into early Thursday morning, I would have been underwater. So the fear is that with conditions worsening Sunday into Monday and early Tuesday with the possibility of greater rain chances, that this creek could rise again. But in terms of the number of people who are missing at this hour, it's difficult to pinpoint an exact number. The governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, said earlier yesterday that with cell phone services knocked out across these 13 counties, it's difficult for people to call their grandmother, to call their aunt, uncle, and see if they've been moved to a safe location or see if the worst has unfortunately unfolded. So this will be the day, Saturday, where crews will be able to have the most progress, so authorities expect, reaching these areas that are not easily accessible and making the most progress over the past, I would say, 48 hours since this tragedy really began to unfold. Well, we have FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, that is here on the ground. The head of the agency made it a point to be here to travel from Washington. But honestly, there's a lot of help that is coming first and foremost from the state level. Federal help from Washington takes a little bit more time because it's slightly more complicated. The White House has, of course, approved the disaster declaration for these 13 counties, freeing up federal money. But it's neighboring states, West Virginia and Tennessee, that have made the greatest contributions that we actually just heard a couple seconds ago flying overhead. Helicopters lended to the state of Kentucky that are able to hoist people into the air, reaching these hard-to-access areas. So those have been the biggest tangible contributions. And also, honestly, from people from states farther away. There's this thing called the Cajun Navy in Louisiana. Whenever a hurricane strikes Louisiana, there are people on fan boats and canoes that go to these isolated islands and bayous and all up and down the coast. So it's not just federal, state level, but people from all over the United States who have come in these boats from as far as Louisiana to help out their fellow Americans in this time of dire need.
CNN's Mike Valerio in Hazard, Kentucky.